All right, 8 minutes away from 9 o'clock in the morning. We're back here with the link. Remember, the show probably brought to you by Calvo Enterprises and IT&E. Let's go straight into the Zoom room where Andy is standing by with our next interviewee. Andy, take it away, brother.
All right, I'm here in the Zoom room, like you said, where all the cool kids hang out, obviously. And we've got Natalie Quinata joining us, and we wanted to bring you on because, so much during this year, we've seen numbers, we've seen statistics, and a lot of people, fortunately, have not been affected directly by this, but, we know of someone that knows of someone. But not everyone is that fortunate. Natalie going to share her story about a lot of infections in the family. So Natalie, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning. My family took direct infection to a completely different level. So at the beginning of November, just like every member of my family, one by one, started testing positive. So it started with my dad and his sister, and then it went to my mom, then went to my dad's other sister. And the crazy thing about all of that is we don't gather. My dad had open heart surgery last year. I had an aneurysm a few years ago. So gathering, going out without masks, that's not something my mom allows us to do. Like lockdown has got nothing on my mom. So
and that's what we wanted to talk to you about, and that's what makes this story really hit close to home, is that your family was so safe. That there's high risk individuals in the family, and you took all those precautions. I mean, you had, like you said, mom with the iron fist locking everybody down, and still this infection crept it into your family, and it just goes to show how infectious this actually is.
Yeah, and you can never really know where it's coming from. And what are you going to do? You're going to sit there with your family and point fingers and blame each other? You can't really do that. You kind of just got to pull together and get through it. So about a week after my dad tested positive, he was hospitalized. So first it was my aunt she's a nurse. So she has an oximeter. So she was, watching everything. She knew her body. And then she decided it was time to go. So she went into the hospital and they admitted her. And the next day she called my parents and she said, go now, don't wait. And, my dad, he's, older tomorrow man. He was like, I'm fine. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. But no, it's such a good thing that he went because he was already developing pneumonia. So
it's brutal. And, we've heard so much about the people that get it. They're asymptomatic, they recover, they're fine, no issues. But that's one thing, is we just don't know how this is going to affect people. And, you mentioned it, that stubbornness, I'll shake it off, I'll be fine. But also, when it hits hard.
Yeah. And also the other thing is, we're tomorrow. There's that whole Mamalo thing. I was at my uncle's house one night and then 4 people showed up and I was like, oh my God. And then you're kind of not allowed to say, I'm leaving. But then, we just went through some crazy things. So I was like, peace out. I'm going. Happy holidays. So it's kind of, you gotta put your foot down.
Thankfully, everyone is still with us. You still have your family. It was rough to get through, but tell us how everyone is recovering.
Yeah. My dad, 2 of his siblings. I'm sorry? What was that again?
Tell us how everyone's recovering.
Okay, so my dad he's calling himself a long hauler. He's still really weak. He cooks a little here and there, but he's got to take a break in between. My other aunts, they're still, one is back to work, but she's still struggling. It's tough to get through a day once you have this. So I don't know how long they're going to be like this, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people want to spin this and just focus on the deaths, as tragic as they are and how small that number is. But as you know, there's the people that make it through this, they're not going to fall into that statistic, but this is something that affects them quite a bit.
Yeah, and I wonder about the other people. So my family, we're really lucky. My dad is retired military, so he was at Naval Hospital. So for other people who don't have insurance, what happens to them after this? The symptoms, they're gonna last a while. So what's the long-term prognosis for that, and how are they gonna get care? So there's a lot of things to consider.
Mm-hmm.
So how much of this I told you so has mom been throwing at you guys?
Oh my God, my poor mom, my poor. She couldn't, because we couldn't really figure. There's no point in trying to trace where exactly it came from. Yeah, those few weeks were just like, yeah, nobody went anywhere. My two sons got it. Here's another funny thing. My two sons got it. Both my parents had it. My brother and I never tested positive. So there's always that false negative, issue going on, and that was really scary because I thought I was okay, because I tested negative. We thought everything was fine, and then I tested 4 times negative, and then a couple weeks later, my son tests positive, and it's like, how does that even happen? We co-sleep. My 3-year-old sleeps in the same bed as me. How is it that he got it and I didn't?
How difficult was that? I mean, how with your boys testing positive?
So my oldest son is 19 and my youngest is 3.
Okay.
And 3-year-old, COVID had nothing on him. He had a cough, but that was about it. But just the thought that they had it, yeah, I don't think I slept for a few days. So.
Mm. And your
He's doing great. Everyone's doing fine now, though.
Your sisters, I think it said that your sisters also.
Oh, my dad's sisters. Yeah.
Your dad. Oh, your aunts. Okay.
Yeah, and so my dad, his 2 sisters, and also my dad's brother. But this was they contracted a while ago, so it's like you can follow all the rules, you can take all the precautions, but you just never know.
Mm-hmm. That's a.
And we're creeping up. I mean, just a couple days away from Christmas, and you've got to be so happy that your family members are still here. Yeah, it's a rough road, but everyone's still with you. So
absolutely,
we're pretty grateful for that.
It's gonna be a lonely Christmas, just like it was for Thanksgiving.
And that's just what we all have to do this year. We've got to adjust our plans. We can't have those big gatherings because, like you've said, like you experienced, you never know how this is going to affect you, your family, grandma, mom, dad, everyone. So you just have to be safe.
Especially your parents. Look out for your parents. If you got family, if you know anyone that's been exposed, or if you know anyone that has it, check on them. If it wasn't for my Ninas and my aunts dropping food tests, every day, I don't know what we would have done. So
what do you want the people know now that we're really putting a face to this infection and seeing how it directly affects families? What do you want to say to the people?
Really stay vigilant. Know your body. If you think you've got a cold, manage those symptoms. I think that's probably what kept my brother and I going was I even though I tested negative, I started to feel a little bit, but you take those meds, pop the Dayquil, pop the Tylenol, get some rest, but also get up and do some exercises. That's kind of like the bar. So if you know that you can do 10 jumping jacks without breathing hard, that's good. Keep doing that. And the second that you can't do 5, go to the hospital. Try to wait. Don't overburden the hospital. Don't make things more difficult for yourself. Just get the care you need.
If the vaccine and when the vaccine is offered to the community, would you take it?
I would take it before I let my boys take it. That's for sure. But yeah, I think I would. And I hope at least half of Guam considers it. So the more we have vaccinated, the safer the rest of us are. So.
All right, Natalie, thank you for coming on and sharing your story. Really appreciate it. Is there any final message, I guess, to the people of Guam?
Just stay vigilant. Watch out for your parents. Watch out for your grandparents. And just remember, you can follow the rules, but you just never know. So be prepared.
Thanks for sharing your story,
Thanks,
Natalie. We're glad everyone, made it through this, and we know there's still going to be problems. But like you said, we're glad they're here. Don't go visit them for Christmas, but be thankful that
I'm
they're
not
still
going to let
around.
you. All right.
Well, thanks, Natalie.
Thanks, Nat.
Thank you guys. Happy holidays and stay safe out there.
All right,
Stay
Merry
safe.
Christmas.
You too. You too.
All right, stay tuned.